Guys, what is up? My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Welcome to a new weekly reading vlog, which is kind of a lie because it's already Wednesday. Also, enjoying the temporary background. It is pouring right outside today, and I live in what we call a semi-sous-sol, so it's like a half basement. And so the lighting is kind of crap, but I put myself in front of my huge living room window, so enjoy the piano and the guitars. But yes, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. I wanted to start this on Monday and I had really good intentions to, but Monday ended up being a very bad day. I didn't sleep all night on Sunday and felt very on Monday, like really shitty. And have like cramps, and I just wasn't feeling the best. So Monday kind of got cancelled, and yesterday I had class literally all day, so we're starting fresh today. It is like 11-ish. I just finished team meetings and class for the day, and I only have school tomorrow evening. I have Fridays off now, which is my first day of Fridays, and then I work this weekend, but nonetheless we are going to vlog. So that was all the life updates. So as for reading, I think I mentioned in my weekend reading vlog, which if you haven't seen, I read Mistletoe and Mr. Right, which was an arc that came out yesterday, basically on October 6th. So check that out. That was on my CANDYLAND, picks my TBR, so I'm one book down, which most of you are new here or have been following my channel because of my TBR games, so I'm guessing you've seen it, but if not, I'll link the playlist here so you can kind of see where we're at with the October reading plans. But that means I'm one book down and I have 5 books to go, so I decided to kind of allow myself to mood read a tiny bit. I have been in the mood for more books that have this like pen pal kind of concept, kind of like Cinder and Ella that I read recently, or Geekerella and that Once Upon a Con series, or When It's Real by Aaron Watt, like celebrity or pen pal feels, which I feel that they're harder and harder to get a hold of. I don't see as many of them as I would like in either YA or adult, so let me know your suggestions down below. Maybe I've read them already, but please, if you know of any good ones, hit a girl up. But I had a few on my bookshelves left, and I completely forgot I had this one, which is What I Like About You by Marissa Cantor, I believe is how you pronounce the author's name. This is obviously YA. I feel like it's a very YA cover, and it is a lot chunkier than I expected. It's like 400-ish pages. This kind of reminds me of Geekerella and Eliza and Her Monsters. And the way I decided to go about choosing my books is kind of like the method Chandler Ansley had in one of her videos, where she like looked at the Goodreads, if you enjoyed this book, like readers also read kind of tab that's usually on the right corner. Anyways, I'll insert a picture if I can remember. But this, I looked at Geekerella, I think, and this kind of popped up in books that were similar, and I was like, oh, I have this book. And so from the, how many pages have I read? 50 pages I read yesterday. What I can understand is that our main character has kind of like a double identity. I'm so sorry, you guys, my allergies today are, oh hello, my allergies are killing me. But our main character is named, I think everybody calls her Hales, but her name online is Kells, and she has this blog called One True Pastry, which is shortened as OTP in the book, and it confuses me all the time for some reason. But basically she is a blogger, and I found that really interesting, and that's why I was super interested in this book. Basically, in order to like preserve her identity, she kind of gave herself a name and then started this blog online where she talks about books and also recreates book covers with her cupcakes, which has brought her a big following. I think she has like 110,000 not subscribers, but followers on Instagram, and she has this blog that she runs. She is very into the blogging and Booktube community, and it's the first time I've seen like the actual word like Bookstagram and Booktube in a book, which is super interesting. And so as her blog kind of got created, she met this boy named Nash, I think. I'm sorry, I'm only 50 pages in, but Yes, he's called Nash, and he also like is involved in the book community, and so they strike up a friendship, but I think our main character is kind of like falling in love with him. And at the beginning of this book, and it's not a spoiler, our main character moves in with her grandfather because her parents are off to do another one of their documentaries, and she wants to have a stable senior year because she aims to go to NYU and then work in publishing, and so she thinks it's better if she stays put for her senior year, moves to her grandpa's, and who does she meet? Nash. However, he introduces himself, she introduces herself as her real person, and it's kind of like a love triangle where I think Nash and her online persona fall in love, but then she and Nash interact in real life as her actual person and Nash, and he doesn't know the identity, so it's like them falling in love twice? Question mark. I think I'm going to enjoy this. The writing style is very YA, which I mean it is for a young adult audience, and I feel like because I don't read as much YA, it's taking me a little bit more time to get into. And there's just this one comment that has bugged me, and I've seen it come up in Goodreads reviews, that the main character says that like adult readers who read YA, like she kind of talks poorly about that, and there's no shame in reading YA or any kind of book at any age. Like I'm 23 and I read middle grade books and YA books, and I can still acknowledge when one is good even if I don't necessarily connect as much to the characters, and sometimes I do connect to a 16-year-old because life is different and the same at the same time. So I think that shaming people who read YA books when they're an adult is kind of a poor taste, but we'll see how it goes. Like hopefully it's not something that reoccurs all the time, but it's really cool that she talks about her blog and like the hard work that goes into having a blog and just having to constantly be on top of things and always be present on social media and just your online friends, and just so many things are touched on, and it's only been 50 pages. I think they even mentioned BookCon in here, which there's so many just fun bookish things. She talks about TBRs and book reviews, and it's just a book lover's dream, so I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of like miscommunication, but we shall see, and I will hope for the best. So those are my updates for now. I need to go kind of plan and clean and do homework, but I'll update you guys soon with other bookish things. Good morning, friends. It is Friday and I'm here to have a chat with you guys and update you on my reading. I didn't update you guys at all yesterday, and that's kind of what I want to talk about with you guys and be kind of transparent as to what happened. If you want to skip like this discussion and get on to just the books, I'll put a timestamp down below. But I have been having probably the worst year of my entire life, and that is not like an understatement, and it's not just because of COVID, it's because of health reasons and mental health reasons. And I've been, since June of 2019, I've been basically treading water but not really moving anywhere, and I've been sick, I've been injured, I have lost an entire school year, and I've just been through a lot. I was off work for 10 months because of a back injury. I got sick in the month of May. I just am not my best self, nor am I my regular self. I think it's just I'm in a very weird position where I'm kind of like trying to find out who I want to be and kind of try to figure out where I want to go from here. And there have been some good things, mind you, like I've started university and there is some good and the bad, and I think that I'm grateful for a lot of things, and just like not being, you know, alone in a pandemic and having a family and all these kinds of things. But it's just some days the bad hits a lot worse, and I think that yesterday was kind of one of those days. I have been exhausted. I've never had such big under eyes before. I don't sleep well. I'm constantly stressed. I forget to eat sometimes. I'm losing my hair. It's just something I need to work out, and obviously I'm going to get help for that, and I'm just going to take it one day at a time. But I kind of got in this headspace where everything is kind of out to get me, and I know it's not the case, but it's just been such a long time since I've had just happy things happen like consistently over a few different days. Like, it's always kind of coming back on me, and I'm not saying this for pity, I'm not saying this because, you know, my life sucks and it's the worst. I mean, I have a job, I'm going to school, I have a good significant other. Like, my life isn't bad, but it's been very bad. I've been through a lot of traumatic things over the past months, and I just think it kind of like all caught up to me yesterday, and I just kind of sat on the floor and bawled my eyes out before class, and it was just hard. And then I got into this spiral of kind of being discouraged for everything. Like, I'm only 23 and I've been through so much shit. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. It's not something I want to discuss on here, but I've been through hell and back this year. And I feel like I'm always constantly telling myself that I'm not good enough, I'm not achieving enough things, I don't work hard enough, and I'm just in this spiral where I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore. And it's not like I'm not like in danger, I'm not endangering myself or others, I'm not like in a very dark mental health space, and I can acknowledge when these things happen, not that they've really happened, but I mean, like, I know how I'm feeling. But it's just, I was at a point where I was so discouraged that I literally was so close to just deleting my channel and just deleting everything and kind of saying, like, screw it, whatever, it's fine. And I kind of had to take a step back because I think I've been focusing on all the wrong things. And, like, I didn't start YouTube for other people, and I didn't base my worth on other people's enjoyment of my content, and I don't want this channel and me reading books and finding a creative outlet to ever feel like that, and I really don't like feeling like that. And so when I started thinking about why I was doing YouTube now, it just kind of hit me that I don't think I was in it for the right reasons. And I used to like love doing this and sitting in front of a camera and enjoying myself and talking about my favorite books, no matter how many people watched me. And even if one person like watches a video, and I know some of you guys are very consistent, so thank you so much for that, and like will comment on all my videos and like all my videos, and I really appreciate it. It's just, I think sometimes it's hard when you're a creator that you look around and everybody's making so many friends and everybody is getting so many new subscribers quickly, and I just think I've been so focused on the wrong things that I've been forgetting to enjoy myself and like read books I want to read. And just social media can kind of throw you off and put you in one of those head spirals. So instead of deleting my channel and being like, screw it, I don't want to read anymore and I don't want to make content, which is false, because after a few hours I was like, oh, I should probably be talking about these books because these books really make me happy. And I just took a step back. Honestly, I deleted Instagram off my phone, Facebook off my phone, Twitter. I don't really want to go on social media for now. I love YouTube and I think it's a great like outlet, but I don't think that right now, with my mental clarity not being 100%, like I don't want to have the pressures of other people on social media. And I've always been the kind of person that will root for everyone else. I'm always happy for everyone else's achievements, and that hasn't changed. I just think that I've been questioning my self-worth because I haven't been doing as well as other people, and it's fine, you know, I don't bring that much original content, and I just think that I need to kind of refocus my entire life, but I know I don't want to stop doing Booktube. So this is all to say that I'm really grateful for the handful of you guys who always watch my videos, who always leave me comments. I think it makes the pandemic easier to be able to have that kind of like social interaction with people. And it's just, you know, I don't want to quit making videos. I love making videos. It's fun and I get to talk about what I love the most in the world, and no one in my actual life gets it, and I think that's why I created this channel in the first place. So yeah, that was kind of my thought process and how I've been feeling this week. But today is Friday, it's a new start. I don't have school or work today, which is amazing. Fridays are always my day off as of 11:30 last week because I had my last Friday class of the semester. So I'm very grateful for that. I did have class yesterday and I had a quiz which I needed to study for, and it went excellent. I'm pretty sure I got 100 on it, which is good because I don't like that class. It's very hard. But yeah, I did also read 2 entire books yesterday, and when I mean entire books, it's like from front to back twice. These are 2 books I've read before, but not this year, so I thought I would talk about them with you guys because here is the thing. When I feel like complete crap, I usually go to some of my go-to authors and favorite books and read them, and then it kind of makes me feel better, which is what happened yesterday. So the first book I read, I think I had read for the first time in 2018, like on my Kindle. I was on vacation, and then I loved so much, and I have like a collection of books by this author, so I decided to purchase it when it was on sale, and that is Lucky in Love by Casey West. If you've been following my channel for a while, you would know Casey West is one of my favorite authors. One of her books, which is Listen to Your Heart, is pretty much like in the top 3 of my favorite YA books I've ever read in my entire life. I reread it at least once a year, if not twice, via audiobook or read it physically. It's like the best thing ever in my opinion. Best Casey West book in my opinion. It's not the most like read book of hers, I think, but anyways, I love it. But Casey West overall is just an author that really makes me happy. So I saw this one on my shelf and I loved the spine for this one, and I was like, you know what? Why not try this? And I was in the middle, like 50 pages into What I Like About You? Question mark? Yes. That I mentioned in my last clip, but then I was like, it's not exactly what that book was, like not what I expected of it. It's not as light and fluffy and it's not as fast paced, so I decided to pick this one up, which Lucky in Love follows a main character who is called Maddie. I was scared I was mixing her up with the other one. And Maddie has like a regular-ish family. Her parents have been under a lot of financial stress, and so they fight a lot, and Maddie thinks they're gonna get a divorce, and her brother, who has debt because of school, had to take a semester off. And he's not doing so well either, mental health wise. He kind of like sleeps during the day and watches TV at night, and he doesn't have a job, he doesn't do much. And Maddie's like hyper focused. Her goal is to get into vet school, and so she's always like studying. She has these study dates with her friends, who one of her friends is not at all like her and the other is like super hyper focused like Maddie is. And it's kind of like their friendship dynamic. But then we also see Maddie with her part-time job, which I love this part of the book. And basically Maddie works part-time at a zoo, and she works there and she's made friends with this boy named Seth, who is actually Asian American. Like, he's of Asian heritage, but he was born in America. I think his grandparents were born in Asia, and then his parents and himself were both born in America. And so it's like their friendship, but then at the beginning of this book, Maddie actually turns 18, and she had this like interaction with someone at like the mini mart, and then she goes back and actually buys a ticket and wins the lottery. I believe when taxes take it off, she says it's like 33 or 32 million dollars. And so it's kind of the story of how her entire life changes, and how that changes her relationship with her family, how that changes the relationship her family has within themselves, like how it changes the relationship between her parents and her brother, and also her relationship with her classmates at school, and how it's kind of like boosting her in popularity, but all of the things she needs to become wary of, and how it kind of changes a person when you suddenly have all this money, and the only person who doesn't know in the story is Seth, because at the beginning of the story he gets grounded, so he doesn't have his phone, and so it's like the only relationship that doesn't change in this book. But then our main character kind of obviously has a crush for him. This is a Casey West book, it's not a spoiler. And so it's her trying to have to navigate how to tell him without their relationship changing, because everything else in her life has changed. And I love this book. I originally in 2018 gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I think I would stick with this rating. I don't change rating of books I've read years ago, except if I really don't think they fit. Enjoyment wise, 5 out of 5. I read this in like 2 or 3 hours and I devoured it. I have so much fun every time I read this book. The animal discussions, the relationships, and how like the discussion of money is involved in this book. It's all great. The main male character in here, like the main love interest, Seth, is so adorable. Oh my god, I love him so much. And they go on this like first date together in this book, and it's like the cutest thing I've ever seen, and it makes my heart so happy every time I read this book. So this is the kind of book I want to keep with me for years to come. And like, I know I'm moving next year and I'm going to want to haul a bunch of books. This book is not going anywhere. It is so fun, and yes, I'm 23 and I still love this book. These are the kinds of books that when I'm in a mental health state that I was yesterday, they get me back on track and remind me why I'm doing all of this. And then, so I read this one like before class, like I finished it around 4, and then my boyfriend came home, we had dinner and stuff, and then he was playing Formula 1 on the Xbox, so I decided to read another book, which I thought like I'll pick up a book, start it, and then I'll finish it over the weekend, because I still wasn't in the mood for What I Like About You. I don't know if I'm gonna love this book because I don't usually procrastinate YA so much. So I decided to go back to another old Casey West book, and I decided to go with PSI Like You, which is probably one of her most well-known books. I feel like everybody's like, oh, if you read Casey West, I suggest like PSI Like You. This is my second favorite book of hers. I think I wanted to make a video ranking all the books I've read by her. If you're still interested in that, let me know. I think it could be fun. This has one of my favorite tropes in it where they are pen pals, but they don't know who they are. Like, our main character is in chemistry class and she doesn't really like chemistry at all. She kind of always goes off in her mind, and she also is an aspiring songwriter, and so she doodles a lot of lyrics in her books until one day her teacher's like, give me your notebook, like you're not gonna be allowed to take it out in class, you only get 1 sheet of paper to write on, I don't want to see you doodling whatever you're doodling in your notebook, you need to pay attention. And so the next day she comes back and she has like this song in her head that she's been listening to, and she's like, in order to get it out of my head, I'll just write it down. So she writes it down on the desk, which defacing property, so scandalous. And it's like one of those indie songs that like not a lot of people know, and so when she comes back the next day, someone has actually filled out the next lyrics to this song, and our main character is like, wait a minute, someone else follows this band, and so they kind of start talking back and forth about music and then about life and their families and the difficulties of being a teenager, and they kind of relate to each other and are able to talk about things they don't usually talk about because of the anonymous factor that being pen pals at a desk brings. So they're both in chemistry and they're both in the same year, but our main character at first doesn't even want to figure out who the other person is because she likes being able to talk and be anonymous and not have like these weighted expectations. And then it kind of unravels from there, and it's like their romance, and it's funny because you kind of figure it out before the main character, and it's really funny because of the dynamic our main character has with the specific boy in the book. Does it say in the... No, okay, so I'm not gonna spoil anything more, but it's basically her figuring out who her pen pal is and everything in the dynamic here and the friendships. It's all really funny. I loved the family in this book, and I loved it again. This one I read in 2019, so I read it a little bit more recently than this one, but I still remembered both of these and I love them. And yeah, her family is very messy. Like, our main character has 2 younger brothers and an older sister. She shares a room with her older sister, and again, her family doesn't come from much money, and there's like all these different dynamics, which I love both of these books. Like, if I can recommend some Casey West books, Listen to Your Heart, Lucky in Love, PSI Like You, they're staples. I really love them. They're a little bit older than some of her newer works. If I'm just going off on a tangent about Casey West, don't read Fame, Faith, and the First Kiss. That book isn't that good. It's part of like the companion-ish series. The first one is Love, Life, and the List, I think. That one's not bad, but Fame, Faith, and the First Kiss to me was a hot mess, and I hope none of her other books are as terrible, because I didn't like the main character, the premise, the idea behind it. It was just trash in my opinion. What else? Her older works that are only out in paperback aren't bad as well, and maybe This Time, which I think is her, was it her newest release? No, that was Moment of Truth. I think I should make a video about this. Anyways, so those were my reading updates and my life updates. I feel like this clip is 20 minutes long, which it probably is, but yeah, that's what I had to say. Today is about getting myself organized. I'm going to write down a to-do list, start on some assignments before the weekend, and pray for the best. So that's it. I'll see you very soon with another clip, hopefully, and it won't take me 2 days to update the vlog. Hello, welcome to the office. I know I still look crazy, but it's noon. I got changed in a tank top and a cute skirt, and I put on a cardigan because it's like the perfect fall weather today. I did the dishes, and I also came up with my to-do list, which, if you guys were ever interested in more like study videos, I feel like I've got a lot of really good tips, in my opinion anyways, and I've always been pretty good at getting organized and at school, so let me know. But basically, I made a list of all my evaluations before my reading week break, which I forgot to mention this before. In not next week, but the week after, I think it's the week of October 19th, I am off of school for an entire week. They call it like a reading week, so you can like do your work before or after your midterms. And I also decided, because I have 4 weeks paid vacation from work, that I would take a week there so I wouldn't have to work over like the weekend or the Monday that I usually go in. So I'm going to be paid like full week without going to school or work, and it's going to be the best thing ever. So that's coming up. So basically, all this to say, these are all the things I need to do or hand in next week before my evaluation week, or during my evaluation week. I have one assignment for a class that's already done, but the assignments were to submit later on in the semester. So I have all of these here, and then I have my to-do list for school and my to-do list for at home, where I have each class. I still have to highlight them, and then what I have to do for each individual class I have. This is in French, so it's not really worth showing any of you guys what it actually says on there. But then on the bottom here, I also have like other tasks I want to get to. So my school fees, which I've already paid, which hooray, semester school fees are paid. My phone bill, which is already done as well. Tidying the house is something I'll get into after, but then I have like grocery list, the laundry, I have some work issues I want to figure out, and then start my Christmas list because my mom has already been Christmas shopping and I need to like brainstorm some ideas. Plan my lunches for the weekend for my work weekend, and pick my next read, which I've also done, which I'll talk about. So yes, for my house tidy, which might not be relevant if you only have a room or whatever, but it could still be like a tip. Adulting and going to school and going to work, it can be a little bit tricky. So what I do when I have a day off is I'll do one house chore. So let's say I'll do the dishes, and then I'll focus on school, where I'll try to knock out like the rough draft of an assignment, and then I'll go do another house chore and come back and do either a second draft of that assignment, or if I allowed myself enough time to let it sit and review for another day, which is really what I usually do, then I'll start another assignment and then kind of have a rough draft or a first section of a project, do another house chore. So I split it up, and then I can easily focus when I'm doing schoolwork because I haven't been sitting in the same chair for hours, and it just feels kind of more productive, and it alleviates more stress. If you want more study techniques, hit me up. I can do that for you. And then my next read, which I decided to go with Time of Our Lives by Emily Webberly and Austin Seaman Broca. This is their 2020 release, and I have, oh my god, my chair is so annoying. I have kind of like a love-hate relationship with them. I DNF'd their first book, which now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually go back to it, like I never got rid of it, which was Always Never Yours. Yes. But then last year I read If I'm Being Honest, which was their second book, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. One of the best YA contemporaries I've read that year, and I was so impressed by it. Both of their first books were both Shakespeare inspired. This one I don't think has anything to do with Shakespeare, but then again, I could be mistaken. This, however, I don't know if it's a dual time. Yeah! Oh my god, please tell me it is. Yes! I love dual perspective timelines. I want to write a book, and in that book I think I want to include multiple perspectives. It's harder, but I think it makes a book so much better. So this follows Fitz and Juniper, and Fitz and Juniper are both touring for colleges, and they meet at one of those college tours, and I believe it's like a story in a course of a few days, question mark. I don't know if they're gonna end up together, again, question mark, but Fitz, basically, he decided to go to college close to home because I think he wants to he wants to take care of his mom at the same time because his mom has early onset Alzheimer's, and my grandmother actually had that for several years, like not early onset, but she had it, so I can kind of understand where he's going. But then his mom actually asks him to go on a tour of several different colleges out of state, and he really thinks it's a waste of time, but because it's his mom, he doesn't refuse. And then I guess on his out of state college tour, he meets Juniper, who she is like the exact opposite in a situation where her family is very crowded, very always together and not a lot of space, and so she really desperately wants to get out of her family home and go to college out of state. So I guess it's kind of like them finding each other and kind of maybe falling in love at the same time? Question mark? I don't really know, but I'm guessing all of this from the synopses. Also, look at this cute bookmark. I got it when I purchased this book sleeve, which I always talk about, but I love it so much. So yes, also I love their covers. They have a 2021 release that I saw the other day, and the cover was also as stunning, and I just think their titles and the covers and everything is so aesthetic. I love them, and yeah, so that will be my next read, hopefully that I can start tonight. And that's pretty much what I wanted to update you guys about. I'm going to start working on some assignments, and yeah. Hello friends, sorry if you can hear noise outside. My window is open because I love myself a little breeze. It is now 1:30. I still haven't had food today, which I need to remedy, and I felt like I needed to acknowledge this. This is an extra mattress when my sister used to sleep over when she went to school. Please ignore that, and probably the rest of this office because it's kind of like the bunny room and storage and my desk. But I have been working on a mind map, and I forgot how satisfying and difficult they are. But basically for my research class we had to we have like a group research project, but we need to have a mind map done with all the concepts that we kind of looked, and then the key concepts within those concepts, and I feel like I could go on forever, but because I'm such a visual person I decided to draw it out first, and this is like my first draft. But then my teacher actually gave us a link to this thing that you can do on your computer, and it's kind of like a mind map online, and I thought it would be super complicated, but let me show you guys. This is not sponsored or anything, but I thought if you guys needed to do some sorts of assignments like that or just love mind maps, I feel like this is pretty cool. Like, this is just a draft, and I don't know how well you can see it with the lighting, but it's like reproducing what I had on my paper. So I have my starting question, which I didn't fill in yet, but then I have like my research questions, like what I researched first, and like my research ideas in one specific color, which are all linked to my question, and then I'm starting these sub research questions where like, let's say the effects on health, and then the subcategories, and then I'm gonna go down from there. But it's so well done, and just I'm loving this, and you know, it's a work in progress, but it's like actually enjoyable. This is not due until Thursday, so I'm gonna do my first rough draft today, which is Friday, so I almost have an entire week, and then I'll move on to something else for today, because I feel like I could get carried away and do this for the entirety of the day. But there's much else to do, so I'm gonna write in exactly what I had on my paper, but I also need to make food, so I might try to hurry up and finish this on the program, and then keep moving on with our day and move on to chore 2. I'm really looking forward to, however, reading a little bit of this today. If I could read like 100 pages, it would be bloody amazing. Like, if I could get to this chapter, which I'm not trying to spoil myself, but yeah, really looking forward to reading. It's been very soothing to listen to my favorite music and do this, so yeah, getting a head start, and I just wanted to share that. If ever, I forgot to mention, it's called X-Mind. I'm loving this, and yeah, so that's my update. Hello friends, it is still Friday, and I guess I'm making up for the lack of updates for all the other days today because I'm so chatty. Excuse my appearance, it's like 9:20 at night. We had tacos for dinner, and I just finished off a few things on my to-do list. I've been planning. I also made like my meal for my lunch tomorrow at work in my work bag. I wake up at 4:50 when I work on weekends, so I sleep in as long as possible and then wake up at the final minute and just go. If you don't know, I clean retirement homes as a part-time job. It's been like 4 years now, so there's that. But I did want to update you guys because I did start Time of Our Lives, and I thought it would be fun to give you like initial impressions about this book. I am now like 45 pages in. We've seen both Fitz and Juniper's chapters twice, I believe. And to be honest, it's not the best first 50 pages of a book I've read, and I feel like it's very slow, and I'm scared of the way it's going to go, because I will admit I do like Fitz. Like, his character I can relate to, and his personality, and I just like the way he's described. He's like very charming, very different, and just very cute and awkward, and I really appreciate that. And our characters haven't met yet, but I think they will soon, based from the synopses, because it says that they meet at their first stop in Boston and that they're at odds. So I'm guessing it's going to be like a hate to friends to possibly love, which is where it gets a little bit annoying because, and this is, I don't feel like it's a spoiler, in the first like 20 pages you realize that Juniper actually has a boyfriend and that they've been together for a while, and they're actually together on the trip. And they're touring colleges together, and then Fitz is actually going with his brother, and they're both taking trips to several different colleges in like a 7 or 10 day trip, depending. I think Juniper's for 7 days, and then Fitz is a 10-day trip. And they're going to intertwine at their first stop in Boston, and I guess they'll meet again and again in the different college tours. But even on the cover, they're like together, so I'm just intrigued on how they're going to deal with the fact that Juniper has a boyfriend, because I've read so many YA books where it wasn't handled at all properly. Like, I don't think you could be in a committed relationship and then meet a stranger in like a week, and then boom, you like the stranger more than your boyfriend. Like, if that was the case, you probably had problems before and should have dealt with them. I don't know. The way she's talking about it now, it seems fine. So yes, not the most engaging, but I'm gonna keep reading. I'm just scared I'm gonna hate this book and DNF it as well. Which would mean 2 DNFs and 1 5-star by this author duo. I don't know how I'm gonna think about it. I hope I really like it, but that's the /update on that. I had a very productive day. I ended up writing a rough draft for an entire assignment, working on that mind map and doing like a first draft of like the keywords I wanted on there. I wrote a, like, we call it a compte rendu of everything that happened in one of my group sessions, and I brainstormed for another one of my assignments. And I also spread out everything I need to do every day in the following week and during my work breaks so that I'm on top of everything. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling organized. Also, if my face is shiny, it's because I have my moisturizer and my under eye cream on, because stress and anxiety are making me have not bad skin. I'm lucky that I haven't had bad skin. Like, I don't get breakouts or anything, but still, I can feel it when my skin is a little bit disgusting. So yeah, I brushed my teeth. I don't even know if I can show you guys, cute polar bear socks on. I'm gonna go probably plan and maybe read a little bit more. But if I feel like the book is not engaging enough for me to want to keep reading. So we'll see about that. But I think I didn't mention that at all. I kind of put What I Like About You on hold, and then yesterday when I finished my 2 other books and we went to bed. Quoi? Hello. We were interrupted because my cat did something adorable and my boyfriend yelled at me for me to go see her. We bought her this cat tree like a year ago and she started using it recently, but it's the first time she was in her little basket and played with her toys. I filmed it for you guys. I don't know if I inserted it before or after, but it's cute, so enjoy. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Yes, I put down What I Like About You. I think that's where we were at. And yes, I finished the 2 other books yesterday, blah 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 blah. And then when I went to bed, I wasn't quite ready to sleep, but my significant other was, so I went to bed as well. And I just kind of do this sometimes when I go on my phone, because I don't have like social media on my phone anymore. I think I mentioned that. But usually what I do when I can't sleep is I go on my Kindle app instead of like opening up my actual Kindle, and I see if there's a book I want to try or start out. And I've heard Gabby from Gabby Reads talk about this before. The book is called A Good Marriage, and I had purchased it when it was on heavy sale on Kindle, which again, I'm thinking of making videos about Kindle and Kindle sales and that kind of stuff, so let me know if you're interested. But it's a kind of courtroom / thriller novel. I think we follow 2 perspectives. One of them is a criminal defense lawyer, and I believe she's like a specialized in white collar crimes, I think. And then we follow this other woman, but basically the woman who's a lawyer actually gets a call from this man who she used to go to school with, and he is basically in Rikers and he is charged with like assault, and then his bail was not granted, but usually your bail would be granted for like, he's basically not allowed bail, but usually on an assault charge you should probably be allowed. But the reason for that is that he actually went home from a party and his wife was dead at the bottom of the stairs, and now they're suspecting, like in a lot of cases, that the husband / he did it, and so he calls our main character up and tries to get her to help him, I think. And then the other perspective is, apparently from what I've seen, the wife of this man who has died, but 6 days prior to the party and the night of her death. So I think it's going to be the events that lead up to her death, and we'll see at the end, I guess, if the husband is guilty or not, and then probably his defense with the girl that's a lawyer, question mark. I think that's the book. I really love court cases. I love the law. I love, not like the law in the sense of like the law is not necessarily good for everyone and there's a lot of things that need to be changed. I get it, but I just love learning about the law, and I love shows like Law and Order SVU is my show. I love that show and I love studying it. I love the criminal justice side of things, and so when books actually have that in them, I enjoy it. So I might pick that up at the same time. I don't really know what I'm doing at this point, but this is technically what I've told myself I was gonna read, so we'll see about that. I feel like I've changed my reading plans like 6 times already in this vlog, but I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow after work, and yeah. Hello! It is Sunday. Welcome to the closing portion of the vlog. I know I said I would vlog yesterday, but the day was very weird. The weather was insane. The winds were like scary. There was a huge like thunderstorm. The residents at my work were very angry, and it kind of got to me at a certain point. Like, they're not all there and, you know, respect the elders, but in my head I was kind of like, I need to get out of here because I'm gonna get crabby too. So we ate McDonald's. My boyfriend and I use Monopoly at McDonald's, and I love that time of year, so we had McDonald's, and basically I went to bed because I have to wake up at 4:50. So today was a good day. The weather was beautiful, hence the little walk I took and the footage I put in this vlog, and the work, like my work was actually great, and the road, like the traveling back and forth to work with as well, so it's all good. I only have tomorrow left, and then the fun can kind of begin. I mean, I do have school 3 days this week, but you guys should really stay tuned because obviously as of Thursday 4 o'clock I'm on vacation, so it's gonna be a fun weekend, and the week after that I'm all on vacation, so you guys should subscribe so you don't miss it and all my fun COVID-friendly home and outdoorsy adventures. Speaking of which, I went on a walk after work today because I had not gotten to my 10,000 steps, which is really rare when I work. Usually I go over it. And the leaves are changing and the weather was like nice and crisp. It was like 10 degrees outside, so I went for a like 20-ish minute walk, and I'm now like over 11,000 steps. I got all my active minutes in. I was like, I basically completed all my different, I don't even know if it's gonna focus, but my different goals. I have 29 floors that are walked, 8.64 kilometers, 2,625 calories, and 42 zone minutes. If you guys have Fitbits and want to be Fitbit friends, let me know. I just really love the Fitbit. I still need to do my mindfulness of the day, but that's usually before I go to bed. It like really, just like 2 minutes of the mindfulness thing they have on Fitbit slows down my heart rate of like 10. Usually I can get to like a 60-ish heart rate. I have a fast heart rate because I'm anxious all the time, but anyways, that's a discussion for another time. I also wanted to say thank you for everyone who's been leaving sweet comments on my videos and liking my videos. I feel like the engagement has been pretty good in the past like week or so, so thank you so much if you've engaged with me. I really appreciate it, and that's pretty much it. Reading update, last reading update before I leave you guys. I have been reading The Good Marriage on my Kindle. I'm like 15% in. I'm like just reading it here and there. I'm actually really enjoying it. However, I am fearing that there's going to be problematic tropes in here that I don't like, and cheating. Mostly, I hope it doesn't go the way I'm thinking it's gonna go, but who knows? It's a thriller. As for my physical books, the first book I mentioned this week, I am blanking on the title. I still haven't picked it back up. I'm not sure I'm gonna love or like that one. And same goes from Time of Our Lives. I think this one I have more potential of loving. However, as of now, not loving the writing or the characters, except like Fitz is fun. I don't like the female main character, and I really don't like the direction it's probably gonna take. So again, I might put these down and go back to them later. Like, they're not like a forever DNF, but I might just put them down for now. Who knows? It's really sad because I really hoped I was going to love at least this one. The other one I didn't have as much hope for, but still. So those are my updates. Stay tuned to see what I'll eventually pick up, and I do have a book coming that I will unbox in next week's vlog. One of my most anticipated releases of the year. And that's it. I'm going to stop talking. I feel like this vlog is 50 minutes long. So, have a great week. Hope you guys are staying safe and happy reading. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye guys!